Oh, good morning. How's everybody? So, John here, Twisted World News, Southern West Virginia again. And the wife and I sat in front of that TV screen this morning and catching clips of that Democratic debate, which I wouldn't waste my time watching for anything had it not been on a credible news broadcaster channel like Fox News. It hadn't been anything else, or there's some others out there, but they don't have the viewing that Fox does, so we watch Fox. But anyway, we watch. I watched that little clips they showed of that debate, and what popped in my mind, Jerry Springer. Now the wife and I, we didn't watch Jerry Springer when he was on it. He may still be on. I don't know. I know you can go on YouTube or Pluto or something or other, and you can see some clips or shows or something. But we didn't watch it. But like 20 years ago, 25 years ago, whatever when it was, you'd be watching TV and here comes up an ad or something or other that says a preview of Jerry Springer, and then you got these people fussing and cussing at one another, and everybody's talking at once, and that's what comes to my mind when I watch these Democrats. I said, geez, man, we laughed. We laughed. They was laughing on Fox. We was laughing. And no doubt in my mind, uh, 3/4 of this nation is laughing if they'd see it, and the other quarter, which is these diehard Democrats that are so got so much poop going on in their minds, and in their heads and their hearts, they look at it and say, I'm voting for that. That which one that. I'm voting for that. And you look at this stuff and it's pitiful. It's pitiful. Let me get my little thing here. Uh, and I told the wife, I wish I could edit. The old box keeps coming up. Got downloaded something on the computer there back about 2-3 weeks ago, and then got in and tried to delete it, and now the trash is still popping boxes up on me, and they say there's no record in the computer of it, but yet it's popping up, so that Kaspersky virus protection and there's another thing or two in there that's doing it, so you don't download it, people, unless you actually want it. But anyway, I watched this, and I told the wife if I could edit, I'd do me a video on Twisted World News, and I'd put an Olaf Head on every one of those Democrats up on that platform, and just listen to them trying to harmonize and get in time and get the right beat and all this stuff. Summer, 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 and it's and my little liberal socialist comrade over here, he's seen the summer, and old Sven says, I'm gonna tell him. And that little old princess princess says, you better not. That's what these Democrats are doing. I mean, people that are actually trying to tell you, man, the garbage that's going on in these Democrats' minds is not going to work. It's not possible. You can't do that. But you got those people out there that says, you better not let them know the truth. That's what the House has been doing. This junk around Trump, that's what they've been doing. They're that little coming up princess that one day might be queen or whatever, or whatever, saying, you better not. Dreamland, man, dreamland. But it's pitiful. It is. It's literally pitiful. And you got these people, these diehards, man. Ma and Paul was Democrat, mom, dad, Democrat, uncle, aunt were Democrat, everybody, my family, Democrat. I Democrat. Mm-hmm. And he's dying of wool, man. They, in the past, the Democrat might have done something for people in a way in areas, But when you get down there, if you look deep enough back into the history of the Democratic Party, man, was a party of slavery and everything else. Every poop head in the world come through there. It's been pitiful. And you get these people today, they're socialist, and the Democratic platform, everything on that platform is playing a socialist platform. And on Fox, they was talking about this Amy, what's her name, Klobuchar or whatever her name is, talking about her. She's asking these others, you want to do this, you want to bring all this medical and this stuff in, how are you going to pay for it? What I seen something Bernie Sanders here a week or two ago says Sanders, his program would cost this nation something like 60 some trillion in 10 years. Where does this money come from? Where does all this? It don't exist. It doesn't even exist. But this is the thing. Just about everything on that platform, the Democratic Party, just about everything on that platform, maybe there's two or three, maybe not, but about everything on that platform is saying, we're going to give it to you free. You ain't going to pay for nothing. It's free. It's free, man. Vote for me. It's free. All this garbage that's went on against Trump ever since he started, threw his hat in the ring back in 2016 and started campaigning to get into the office. They started plotting and planning then. Why? When Trump said he was going to drain the swamp, he put who knows how many people on notice, man. Your world's coming down. Congress voted themselves in all kinds of stuff, man. Oh, a lifetime pay, every freaking thing you can imagine, they handed themselves. They don't have to live the way it is right now. They don't have to live under the same laws that you and I do. Do you understand that? They give themselves exemptions, right of ways, waivers. They lie through their friggin' teeth. A bunch of these people like this, and you might as well face it. Right now, as it stands right now, I'm not saying the Republican Party is innocent. I'm not saying that. But as it stands right now, from what I've been seeing, 95% of the corruption is within the Democratic Party. And if you vote for them, baby, you own it. You own it. It's you. It's you. It's pitiful. These people, they are the enemy of a peaceful, just society. Congress give Bill Clinton a pass on lying to the nation and to the people. He outright friggin' lied. Oh, I didn't have a relationship, and they give him a pass. Like it or not, Jack, the Democratic Party took Bill Clinton's lead and he ran with it. Barack Obama got in office. He got in office on a lie. He got in office lying, scheming, and cheating. That's how he got in office. And all through his presidency for 8 friggin' years, that was the goal. That was the goal of accomplishing what he wanted. An Islamic socialist system trying to come to life. He lied and cheated every friggin' step of the way. He never did anything for this nation without he was getting twice as much or more back somewhere else. You might think, well, he's a socialist. No, he has socialist tendencies and actions and thoughts. Barack Obama is a Muslim. And like it or not, the Quran kills everything that's not Muslim. That's just the way it is. Okay? I mean, these people, oh, you're Islamophobic, you're so hateful, so hateful. People, great day, get your lips off their butts. I'm trying speaking truth to you. I'm not trying to feed you a bunch of crock like they are. I'm just speaking truth to you. Islam has been a nightmare in the world ever since the friggin' mess was come to life. It's been a nightmare. People do not fare well. The individual does not fare well under Islam. It just doesn't. You have a lot of Muslims come to this nation, not today, but we've had a lot of Muslims come to this nation. They came over, they observed the laws of this nation. They try to respect the people of this nation as they are respected, and they fare well. They prosper. They're doing this. You got people in different things in this nation as Muslims, and they fare well. But Islam for itself is a nightmare. They adhere to the laws of this nation, those that came here rightfully, justly, honorably, or trying to come in honorably. They adhere to the laws of the nation, and they do well. Why? The laws of this nation were not written under hardcore Islam. They were written under Christianity. That people are actually treated fair. They're actually treated justly. The laws of this nation were written under the guidance of this book. The people are actually treated justly. They weren't written under Islam. They're written under Christianity. Christianity says you respect others, you respect their property, you respect their goods, you respect their rights, and you're good. We'll take you in. Christianity says if you don't respect others and you lie and cheat and connive and jive and manipulate and steal and rape and murder, we're going to kick your friggin' teeth out. That's what the laws of this nation, the Constitution says, respect the laws, respect the people, and you can live here. But if you break the laws and you disrespect the people, we're going to kick your friggin' teeth out. That's what Christianity says. Christianity serves an actual working, true justice. Christianity believes in justice. But what is it? Everything out there now screaming, oh, Christians are racist, oh, they're deplorable, they're this, they're all this stuff. But who are the people? It's the perverts that no longer adhere to truth and honor. They're the ones that's screaming. They no longer adhere to the laws of our nation. They no longer adhere. Their freaking minds are screwy, man. Their heart's screwy. All this freaking rot's boiling in them like sewer being pumped upon on a cook stove in a big pot. They talk about America, the big melting pot, America. Well, listen, let me tell you something. Let me inform you of something. This big melting pot of America, that seems to be, everything seems to be bickering and biting and fussing and cussing at each other. That big melting pot come out of that rot. It come out of the sewage that's been pumped in. Instead of asking God for guidance, they let everything else into their ears. That's where your melting pot comes in. That's where this boiling sewer comes in, this big, huge melting pot. It comes outside of the thinking of God. It don't come within the thinking of God. It comes outside the thinking of God. And I don't mean just any friggin' God, because the Christian God cannot hold hands, never has, never will, cannot, impossible for the Christian God to be the same God as other gods. It is literally impossible. Literally impossible. But all this melting pot, boiling sewage thing, God, this gay, transgender, it's Islamic, socialist, God, all this awful stench boiling within this pot. And they praise the great big melting pot of America. Why? Why does it boil? Why does it stink? Why does it carry such an awful stink? Because it's not according to what God designed the nation to work in. God designed the nation to work in respect. God designed the nation to work in honor, in truth, in discretion. Our forefathers, at the signing of the Declaration of Independence, I forget that numbers, there's something like 54 of them, 56, 55, whatever, how many was in. Almost every one of them are Christians. And they all said they listen, everybody in the room said they believed the nation should run under the guidance of this book. And they signed the Declaration of Independence. They signed the Declaration of Independence. And they all agreed that it should be designed, the law should be designed and outlined from this book. Look at it today. What's going on? You get perverts in office and they want to write laws that try to cover up the laws of the past, and everything is just blown up. It's gone nuts. It's gone nuts. Perversions want to run your life. Islam wants to run your life. Communism wants to run your life. Gays want to run your life. Transgenders want to run your life. Thieves and liars want to run your life. Manipulators and cheats want to run your life. The Democratic Party is proven, yeah, pitiful, man. It's pitiful. Donald Trump got into office. He's tried to work honorably, doing his best, the best I can tell, to work honorably, and he's accomplished great things. Great things have taken place under his leadership. But look at the Democratic. Why? You listen. The nation is prospering. We're making deals with countries around the world. We're finally back on track to getting conservative judges in our courts, that justice can actually work again. Great thing. Great strides have been made. Well, all this good's going on for the nation. Why are the Democratic candidates, why are the Democratic pawns? Why are all these people griping? What's going on? What's happening over there on that left side of the aisle? What's happening? I think about it, these friggin' Muslim and socialist women over there, you know, the two Muslim representatives and this socialist AOC and Omar and Tahib or whatever her friggin' name is. They're over there, they're dragging the Democratic Party, man, just dragging them just right into the friggin' sewer. I mean, you could just about, if you just watch him, you can almost see a rope tied around the Democratic Party's neck, man. Dragging them, and the poop just piling up on their shoulders and their head. And their Democratic Party's choking. They're dragging them into it. Yeah. It's pitiful. It's pitiful, man. You know, I hate that to bust your bubble. But someone's got to tell you. The little princess wouldn't let Sven tell Olaf, but I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you. The Democratic Party is no longer American. The Democratic Party is no longer American. They no longer serve the laws to search out truth. They no longer serve the laws to search out justice. They no longer serve the laws that actually believe in fairness that works. They no longer serve the laws that were written that individuals could come in and be treated fairly. They no longer serve those laws. Today they serve an agenda. It is a socialist, communist agenda the Democratic Party's backing and supporting today. They are no longer American. You know, who was it pointed out to me? I didn't know it. Because I didn't get in and study a lot of this stuff out. But you know, these women at the State of the Union, all these Democrat women dressed in white, all they doing all this stuff, and here you had Nancy Pelosi up there doing her little show. You doing her little show. You know? Do you realize? You know where that come from? Do you know where that come from? That come from socialist propagandist rights of women dressing in white. That's where that come from. Those people are perverts. Garbage can, man. I mean, every freaking thing you think of goes in the garbage can. That's where that comes from. I tell you what, I really do not know. I'll be honest with you. As much as I dislike Bernie Sanders being a socialist and trying to bring a communistic view to life in America, I have more respect for Bernie Sanders right now than I do Nancy Pelosi or Chuck Schumer, especially Nancy Pelosi. I have more respect for that friggin' Bernie Sanders as Nancy Pelosi. I look at that and listen, I'll be honest with you people. America needs to arm herself with about 50,000 Americans need to arm herself, march into Washington, D.C., get the Democratic Party, and take it out on a national mall and line it up on international television and shoot them. Just friggin' shoot them. Get rid of them. And then don't bury them on American soil. Strip their clothes off, put them on cargo planes, take them out over shark-infested waters in the ocean, and dump them. Dump them. Get rid of them. As long as those people are alive and left unchecked in this nation, there will be no peace. There will be no peace. If William Barr, John Durham, and the Justice Department don't come to the front and deal with those perverts, then this nation will not see another day's peace. The Democratic Party today, and I'm not saying some of the Republicans too, I'm saying the Democratic Party today is the enemy of society. They are the enemy of a peaceful, just society. They are the enemy. Russia's not the threat. China's not the threat. North Korea's not the threat. Iran's not the threat. Today, the threat to America is the Democratic Party. The party of poop. They need to be lined up on the National Mall and shot. Ted Nugent basically got it right. They need to be shot like coyotes. Coyotes are a threat to they're a threat to all your game. They're a threat to everything around, just like the dingoes. I forget what country they're in or continent, but they had to go in and build a friggin' fence to keep the dingoes on one side of the fence. These wild dogs. They had to build a fence something like 150 miles long to keep the dingoes on one side of the road because they was destroying everything else. Nothing else survived. The game died with the dingoes on that side of the road or whatever. Everything died. They killed everything. They built a fence to keep the dingoes out. Coyotes are basically the same thing, just a hairy dingo. And Ted Nugent's right. The Democratic Party needs to be shot like coyotes. He's right. There will not be another day's peace in this nation if justice don't shut those people down. This friggin' sewer will go on and on. You look at these big cities, ran by these Democrats, these socialists, these perverts, ran by those people. Look at these cities. They're hellholes, people. Sewage on the streets, pee, poop, everything. You smell the sewage on the streets. Every damnable thing you can imagine is going on in them cities. And they're destroying the laws of this nation that were enacted to keep those cities alive and keep them functioning, keep them prosper. They're trying to destroy those laws. It's pitiful. It's pitiful. But I do. I have much more respect for Bernie Sanders and him, knowing that he's a socialist, a communist, knowing what he is and what he stands for. I have more respect for him than I do Nancy Pelosi. Oh, I'd load Bernie Sanders up and ship him out of here, Hey, send him to wherever, Russia, China, wherever. Get him off American soil. But Nancy Pelosi and her crew, they need to be lined up and shot. They need to be lined up and shot. It's pitiful. And I'll be honest with you, there's more pitiful things going on. Facebook, they cut just open, truthful voice off. They conjure this garbage in their minds and then they just cut open, truthful voice off. Twitter's done it, Google's done it, others have done it. And that's just people being honest, being truthful, telling you, hey, this is the reason the friggin' mess is going on. Is because this is given a waiver. This is given a pass. And these people are lying, scheming, cheating perverts, and you give them a pass. This great American melting pot, created by liberal thinking and socialism and every damnable thing you'd imagine taking place in it. It's given a pass. It's given a pass. Well, you gotta be inclusive, lady, sir. If you include the liar, the cheat, the rapist, the murderer, the manipulator, the thief, you include them, and you don't give them, you don't slap them when they get out of line, you had the leg. That's what's going on in America. Americans went through hell letting these people have leads. The conservative leadership of this nation has said we should have never left the educational system to liberals. We should have never left them to this great American melting pot. They screwed up. They left it to people that handed out passes and waivers to every pervert thought pattern around. And now it's in our face. Now every friggin' thing out there is screaming for rights and this and that and whatever. And it's pitiful. It is literally pitiful. When I was growing up, and I know you've all heard it and you get sick and tired of hearing it, but listen, you need to hear it anyway. You need to hear it. When I was growing up, all this friggin' rot never went on. I mean, back in the 70s, 60s, and 70s, you had the long-haired hippies, whores, and queers and everything come out on the streets and you know, screaming, make love, not war, and they disrespected our soldiers. Soldiers sent over there, and then Congress wouldn't let them do a job over in Vietnam. The Congress, the government wouldn't let them get over there and do their job, and you had all these long-haired hippies and Bill Clinton and all these friggin' idiots running screaming. Congress wouldn't let our soldiers do the job, and then they come back over here, and then these friggin' long-haired whores and whoremongers and queers and everything, they spit on them and curse them and doing everything else. You never put up this junk, man, back back from the early 60s back. You didn't have to deal with this friggin' junk. But look at it today. Look at it today. It's a friggin' sewer. Everything in the world is screaming for rights, and everything in the world is pissing on truth and honor. It's pitiful. It is literally pitiful. It is literally, do you realize if you support this stuff, do you realize how low life, pitifully looking something that makes you out to be? That tells me you got the mind of a dingo. It tells me you got a mind that'll destroy its own environment. Well, I'm going to get off here. I hate to get straight with people like that, but so help me. Something needs to be done. Something's got to jar y'all's friggin' thinking. Something has got to take a coal pick or something and pick crust, chip the crust off your conscience. Something's got to be done. You know, it's been said that Donald Trump could possibly try to run a third term because there's been so much resistance in his first term that he couldn't lead as the president is supposed to, that he could possibly run a third term. Well, now, I'll tell you what, if Donald Trump stays on course as he is right now, if he stays on course and he goes through the second term on course, I would vote for him for a third term. I really would. From what I can see, he's doing good. Now, I've said it before. I'm going to get off here. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'm behind our president 99.0, not 99 0.98%. I reserve, listen, I reserve that last little 0.02% because we're still dealing with a man. Because Donald Trump is still a man, we're still dealing with the flesh. Things can go wrong. But as of right now, I don't see it going wrong. This is John, Southern West Virginia, Twist the World News. I'm going to get off here and I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a day that this day will be a day that you realize that if you look at the world today, America is the exception. We have other countries that support capitalism and democracy, that the people will have a voice. But America is the exception because our laws were written from the very essence of truth and honor, from the one true righteous God. It's not maybe this, maybe that. Our laws were written from the very essence of righteousness. Have a good one.